Sacrifice, the first step of the life of renunciation, aside, even in worldly life, without sacrifice, you cannot achieve anything. The story I am about to narrate today is based on the concept of sacrifice. By listening to this story, you will understand the essence of sacrifice. Before you get lost in this story, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Now, let's begin the story. In a village lived a man named Mangal. He led his life alone in that village without any family. Every day, he would take his bullock cart into the jungle, cut a lot of wood, bring it to the city, and sell it. This way, he earned some money to manage his life. One day, afternoon, Mangal was heading towards the city with his bullock cart loaded with wood when he noticed a man in the jungle who appeared tired from walking. The man, named Suraj, was originally from the city. Seeing Mangal, Suraj said, "Brother, if you are going towards the city, could you please give me a lift on your bullock cart? I am tired of walking, and there is no other transportation available here. I would be very grateful if you could help me." Mangal agreed to his request and allowed Suraj to sit on the bullock cart. He said, "If one person doesn't help another, then who will? Let's travel together." During the journey, they had a pleasant conversation, and when they reached the city, Suraj thanked Mangal for his assistance. Suraj then gave his home address to Mangal, expressing his desire for Mangal to visit and become a guest. He said, "After finishing your work, do come to my house. I would be very happy if you honor me with your presence." Mangal, appreciating Suraj's invitation, assured him, "I will definitely come." And with these words, Suraj left for his home. Upon reaching his home, Suraj eagerly waited, anticipating Mangal's arrival. When Mangal has sold the wood and the evening sets in, he heads towards Suraj's house. As soon as Mangal reaches Suraj's house, he becomes very pleased to see him and warmly welcomes him. He serves him a delicious meal and then arranges a comfortable bed for him to rest. Throughout the night, they engage in deep conversations. Now, a profound friendship has developed between Suraj and Mangal. The next day, Mangal sets out for the village again. Whenever Mangal visits the city, he makes sure to meet Suraj and stays at his house. Once, Mangal had gone to the city, and that night happened to be a full moon night. After selling the wood, Mangal heads to Suraj's house and decides to stay there for the night. It was around 9:01 p.m. at that time. The full moon was shining in the sky and the moonlight was flowing around the earth like a stream of milk. The trees and plants, bathed in this stream, turned white. Suraj takes Mangal with him and tells him that today he will show him a scene that he has never even thought about before. He claims it's such a magnificent sight that Mangal will be mesmerized by it. Saying this, Suraj quickly takes Mangal with him. Curious, Mangal asks Suraj what special thing he is going to show him. He questions, "Tell me, what is so unique about that scene?" Suraj responds by saying that if Mangal sees the scene, he will be amazed. "In my city, there is a chief treasurer for the king. His principle is to live with food, drink, and joy. According to him, a person has to leave everything behind one day, so there is no benefit in accumulating wealth. People should enjoy the things they have earned in their lives. This treasurer eats his meals extravagantly every day. However, on the night of the full moon, something different happens. On that night, he dines in such a way that it becomes a sight worth seeing. The treasurer's meal is served in golden utensils. His entire meal is prepared in golden containers. He even sits on a golden mat while eating. The treasurer wears yellow-colored attire and adorns himself with priceless golden jewelry. Even all his servants wear yellow attire and gold ornaments. On this moonlit night, there is such a golden aura in the treasurer's house that not only the minds of humans, but even the minds of deities must be filled with longing. The temptation must be irresistible. Even the wealthiest individuals in the city gather there to witness this unparalleled spectacle. Hearing Suraj's words, Mangal also starts to desire to see this scene and quickly reaches the house to witness the spectacle of the treasurer's meal. When he arrives, he sees that there is already a fair setup. On the other side, the treasurer, dressed in yellow attire and adorned with golden ornaments, is sitting on a golden mat. Various dishes are being served in front of him on golden plates. Mangal, seeing this scene, cannot control his excitement. He slowly tells Suraj that this scene is truly amazing. I had never imagined such a sight before. Seeing it is beyond imagination. I wish I could have such a meal one day, but it can never happen in the life of a poor person like me. When Mangal expresses this sentiment to Suraj, the treasurer overhears it. He looks towards Mangal, and there seems to be something unique on Mangal's face. The treasurer feels that there might be something miraculous within this man's body. After some time, when the treasurer finishes his meal, he calls Mangal to come closer. Looking attentively at Mangal, the treasurer says, "I know that you want to have a meal on the night of the full moon, just like me." Hearing this, Mangal is surprised, wondering how the treasurer came to know about his desire. The treasurer reassures him, saying, "Don't be surprised. I overheard your conversation. If you want to have a meal like me, you'll have to undergo rigorous penance. Can you do that?" After contemplating for a while, Mangal responds, "Sir, if I get a chance to have a meal like yours one day, I am ready to move mountains. Tell me what I need to do." The treasurer, after some thought, says, "You don't have to move mountains. You'll have to work in the fields for 3 years." Upon hearing this, Mangal says, "Sir, I am ready to work in your fields to fulfill my wish, but it will be after 3 years I get the opportunity to have a meal like yours. Is that correct?" Upon hearing Mangal's words, the treasurer firmly assures him, saying, "Certainly, you will get the opportunity." Now, Mangal had left the job of cutting wood and started working in the treasurer's fields. From that day on, he toiled in the fields during the day, sweating profusely, and in the evening, he would have dinner with the other laborers and sleep right there. Mangal had deep affection for every laborer. When they fell ill, he would take care of them. All the laborers were charmed by his sweet words and gentle behavior. They began to consider him their god, showing him respect and admiration. Time passed, and now the moment had arrived when 3 years were completed. In the span of these 3 years, Mangal's dedication, hard work, and love resulted in such a bountiful harvest in the treasurer's fields that storing it became challenging. His home was now filled with grains. The treasurer was pleased with Mangal's hard work and dedication. He was very happy with Mangal's efforts and commitment. Observing all this, the treasurer contemplated that this person is not an ordinary man. He is extraordinary, almost miraculous. After 3 complete years, when Mangal returns, presenting himself before the treasurer expresses his deep affection and humility, saying, "I am very pleased with your hard work. From now on, I declare you the owner of my estate for 1 whole day. You are free to do as you wish, wear what you want, eat what you desire, and live as you please. You have complete freedom." Upon hearing this, Mangal responds, "Sir, I do not wish to become the owner of your estate. I just want to have a meal like you for 1 day. That is my only desire." Hearing Mangal's words, the treasurer says, "Considering the dedication and hard work you have put in, even this wage seems inadequate. You will be the owner for only 1 day." Saying this, he instructs all his servants that for 1 day, Mangal will be the owner of both him and the estate. We all must follow his orders, just as we follow mine. Mangal, overwhelmed by the responsibility of becoming the owner of the estate, was unable to comprehend what he should and should not do. The only thing he remembered was that it was the night of the full moon tomorrow, and he would dine like the treasurer. If he fulfills this wish, his life will be blessed. The next day was the night of the full moon, with the moon shining brightly. Mangal arrives, adorned just like the treasurer, and sits on the golden mat. Before him, there were various dishes placed in golden utensils. Seeing all this, he was extremely happy. Dressed in yellow attire and adorned with golden jewelry, he was ready. He had never imagined this, but as soon as he was about to join in the feast, he sees a Buddhist monk. In that monk, he finds a sense of peace and calmness. Looking at the Buddhist monk, happiness arose in Mangal's heart. A divine light begins to emerge within his heart. He feels as if the entire universe is present within him. The entire cosmos is inside him, along with all living beings. In a single moment, Mangal's entire heart undergoes a transformation. Without uttering a word, he donates his meal to the monk. Seeing this, the treasurer, sitting there, becomes greatly astonished. He, filled with wonder, asks Mangal, "What is all this? What have you done, and why? Why have you worked so hard for the past 3 years for this meal?" It was challenging back then, but today, when you finally got the food, you donated it to the Buddhist monk without a second thought. What is the reason behind this? Then Mangal, looking at the treasurer, says, "I did what I thought was right. Sir, who I am, whether I ate the meal or the Buddhist monk ate it, is the same thing. There is no difference. We are all equal." Hearing Mangal's words, the treasurer becomes fascinated with him. He says, "From today, I make you the permanent owner of my house." However, Mangal also donates this ownership to the Buddhist monk. When news of Mangal's donation reached the king after a few days, he too, pleased with Mangal's sacrifice and eloquent words, declares to give him his entire kingdom. However, Mangal, refusing both ownership and the kingdom, also donates that to the Buddhist monk. Seeing all this, the Buddhist monk says, pleased with the hard work and dedication of this person, Mahatma Buddha has taken him under his refuge. When a being goes into the shelter of Lord Buddha, the kingdom of the universe starts to seem insignificant. For him, all of this means nothing, and it does not affect his mind or the minds of the treasurer and the king. And then both of them decide to renounce everything and become Buddhist monks. Hearing this story, a question must have arisen in your mind that if we give up everything, i.e., if the king had given up everything, then who will run the kingdom? How will the order of creation be maintained? Yes, friends, this question is logical, and it is essential to know its answer. Renunciation is very necessary for attaining the Supreme Being. But the renunciation we know is different. That renunciation is something else. While managing our lives and fulfilling our responsibilities, we can stay away from the illusion of attachment even amidst all the worldly responsibilities. It means we should not be attached to that illusion. Whatever we do, earn money, love, build a better house for our children, create a good life with our family, and buy a good car, we should also understand that everything in the world is impermanent. In other words, everything will come to an end sooner or later, and when you realize this completely about something, you cannot renounce it. Renunciation is not about leaving something behind. It is about staying with that thing and understanding that it is impermanent. If you liked this story, please subscribe to this channel. Until next time, take care and stay blissful.